There's something we've talked about in terms of ADA that is actually taking place right now. But this isn't just happening for ADA. This is actually happening for BTC as well. And I want to talk about what the impact of this could be, as well as what took place last year following this event. It's a very big deal. And a little bit more in this video, I do want to discuss why this week could be one of the wildest weeks we have seen in crypto as of late, which is saying a lot. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So looking at the crypto market this morning, we are seeing some movement in price. We're seeing ADA down about 5%, most assets in that 3 to 6% range. So this isn't really surprising. And what we're seeing is, I think a lot of people try to essentially prepare for tomorrow. Like we talked about earlier today, tomorrow has the potential, at least historically, of being a very bloody day in the stock market. And I think a lot of people are very nervous about that. Me personally, the way I'm playing this is I'm not touching any of my positions. I do have some capital on the sidelines that I may open up some short positions on, just kind of a hedge, a hedge against the movements of the markets. I'd love to see things just move and see my shorts get liquidated that I'm going to probably open up. But that being said, if the market does drop, I can then take that profit, roll it into buying some more assets. That's just the way that I'm probably going to play tomorrow. So this isn't, me telling you guys what to do. You can do whatever you want, but that is where the market is at least sitting right now at about 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, where things are very interesting is we did in fact talk about this death cross in terms of ADA probably about a week ago or so. And we are seeing this actually take place on the SMA. So we currently are seeing that 50-day SMA, or the 50-day moving average, meet the 200-day moving average on the SMA. And this is a death cross, right? So we have seen this play out for ADA several times before. And no, it hasn't led to good performance in terms of price. ADA tends to not perform well in this regard. But what these death crosses typically indicate is a confirmation of a long-term, more bearish trend, a long-term negative price movement. But they also tend to confirm bottom in terms of sentiment, which is a very good sign. And this isn't saying that ADA can't go lower than where it's at currently, but I do believe that the bottom is in terms of ADA outside of, black swan events or major liquidation events across the crypto market. It's stuff like that, surprises, right? Now, what's interesting about this is while ADA is actually playing out into a death cross currently, we are actually seeing the same thing take place in terms of BTC. So you guys can see BTC has had a very similar movement compared to ADA as of late. We know ADA has actually been moving better versus BTC, which is a great sign. But BTC is also playing into the same death cross on the SMA. The 50 day is crossing the 200-day. So we have to ask ourselves what this led to in terms of BTC last time it occurred. Actually, the last several times it occurred. So we last saw this take place. It was actually on, Friday, August 9th. So this was actually after our big drop in the crypto market on August 5th, major liquidations that took place at that time. We saw BTC actually drop from just a few days prior all the way up at about 70K, all the way down to about 49K. And the market was freaking out and panicking, and everybody was calling for the sky to fall. And I feel like we're in a very similar place sentiment wise to that point. Actually, we're technically more fearful in the market right now, but we have better conditions for a potential upward movement over time. And I'll get to that more in just a moment. But what we actually saw was this was essentially a bottom confirmation for BTC. That drop that we saw on August 5th was the bottom. And although we did see price kind of puts around, we saw a little pump from there. We did in fact see price come back down and retest the trend before it decided to finally start sending and moving to the upside, right? And that could potentially be what we see here, right? BTC getting the death cross here. We could see it actually come back down, retest its trend, maybe 80K, 81K, somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be a big move, but this may be essentially where, or even not to get off track here, but we could even potentially see BTC pump, come back down, retest one more time before sending. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. But what I find also interesting is the prior time we saw one of these death crosses actually take place was back here in September of 2023. And what we also saw at that time was essentially a bottom confirmation here too. And then the markets began to send. So BTC actually tends to respond to its death crosses in a bullish way. ADA tends to respond to its death crosses in a not so bullish way. Now, when we start to piece all this data together and we look at, for example, the bearish divergence in terms of altcoins, the BTC breakout versus the S&P 500, I mean, these are potentially bullish slingshot moves for ADA. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Where you could in fact see major liquidations to the upside. You could see major mooning in terms of price. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but we need to start having discussions about these because we could potentially see some of those aggressive movements across the crypto market. Just understand that this could also take just a little bit of time to play out as well. Now, that being said, this week is shaping up to be very volatile. There's a lot of stuff going on. In fact, I didn't have it pulled up, but what we're seeing is, a lot of this news that has really hit the crypto market hard and has dropped prices has been the tariff news, right? Tariff. Everybody freaking out. A bunch of fear mongering going on. People freaking out. I don't know if anybody has seen how many countries have actually talked about dropping tariffs. How many of them are coming to the negotiating table with Donald Trump, right? India just announced that they're going to be negotiating a trade deal with Donald Trump. I mean, guys, this stuff is playing out exactly as expected, exactly how we talked about, right? We talked about potentially significant trade deals coming from this. We talked about tariffs being dropped on both sides. I mean, this is the path that we're heading down. And basically what we're seeing right now is just, some of this max fear kind of flowing around and people just being reactionary to it and not looking at the path that we're actually headed down. All right. And it's actually, it's good. Okay. But we just have to let this thing play out. Now, that being said, what we also have coming this week is we do see the next CPI report. It's actually taking place on April 10th. So that is going to be, is that Thursday? I feel like they're always on Wednesdays. I don't think that's right. 7th, 8th, 9th. No, that's Thursday. All right. My math was off. But that's going to be Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, these CPI reports have led to movements in the crypto market. I should have laid this out like I did the jobs report on the charts here, but a lot of these we have a lot of stuff coming this week. We could see ups, downs, lefts, rights. The market can just do some of the most wild things we've seen. We're talking about volatility in a range of about 20%. Could see 10% down to 20, 30% up, right? That's just where things are at right now. I would expect this week to have a lot of volatility, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of things that people are not expecting. But that's at least the way that that I'm heading into this week, the things that I'm preparing for. And I think that we are starting to shift towards things being a lot more bullish. All right. And I'm not saying, again, this is instantly the moment that the market's going to moon or anything like that. But we've consistently had good macro data as of late. There again are our trading partners that are coming to the table now. I mean, everything's kind of working out perfectly, and we're frankly in a right spot if you were looking for opportunities to accumulate. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.